Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. And also, who else we got on the line here? That's your cue.
Robert.
That's your cue. Okay,
yeah.
So when I say, who else do we got on the line right now? There's not supposed to be a long pause. All of a sudden, it comes out. Ringside Robert.
This is why the producers...
Blog Talk.
This is why the producers couldn't stand them.
Please.
They couldn't stand him. I tried to go to the union reps to try to save his job. I couldn't do it because of these things.
Union reps?
Because instances like this, I went to the union. He's lucky he's still allowed to use. He's still lucky he's allowed to use, the company facilities like the gym and stuff. But I that's the only thing I could save. He's still allowed to keep his. We still allow him to keep his health insurance. We gave him his severance. But, I mean, these are the reasons why he's not on the panel anymore. Go ahead, Robbie.
That's terrible. He was done. He already introduced himself. I get the See, this is the way it goes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
I introduce everybody. I introduce Robbie. Robbie, when he doesn't introduce himself, all right, now it goes back to me. All right, stop. We're aware. We're here. We're live. We know. Can
we put the interruption counter on here for old time's sake?
You remember the interruption counter?
Remember the interruption counter? Anytime you would interrupt us, he used to get so mad when we put that up. Robbie,
that was your idea too, Beeb. I can't believe that, man.
Robbie, can we put the interruption counter on today?
No, we're not putting. Stop it. What's the matter with you? Yeah, he'll just mute himself. What's the matter with you?
Okay.
What's the matter with you?
All
right. Anyway, guys, it's show number 500, and at this time, I usually say, hey, why don't you guys call in, right? Remember, how I usually say, hey, call in? I'm going to give you 2 guesses, but you're only going to need 1 of why you can't call in today. Blog Talk, once again, is down. Beeb, why do we put up with such an inferior product?
Well,
why has Beeb Industries not gone elsewhere?
All right.
Why do you shamelessly waste everyone's time like this, Beeb?
I've been talking to Elon, and we're gonna see if we can hook up some like a Starlink type phone line here.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I like where this is headed. I like where this is headed. Beeb, 500. Show number 500.
And I really have to give Robbie. I have to give Robbie a big shout out because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here, man.
You wouldn't be here. You
wouldn't be here. I give him a lot of stick week after week, but he brought me here.
Robbie came to me. Robbie came to me. He said, Beeb's homeless right now. Can we give him a job? I said, no, I don't want that bum on our show. Next thing you know, you're working here.
I mean,
smooth sailing.
The unemployment was just about to run out. And then Robbie got me this job and I'm back in business, man. I have to give him credit for it.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely show number 500. All right, well, listen, man, let's not hold it up here. Let's get it on. The Zone. Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua for the IBF Heavyweight Championship. And right here, Beeb, right under here, what Virtuoso said, eat some crow. Eat it. That's right, son. Before we before I even go anywhere, I even go anywhere with this.
Okay,
all right. Before I even go anywhere with this, let me just tell you this. A long time ago, I said that Daniel Dubois was going to be the next big thing, the next heavyweight champion. He fought Joe Joyce, and he didn't come up. He came up short. Beeb called him a quitter. He not only called him a quitter, he not only branded him a quitter, he wouldn't even say his name. He said, the guy who quit against Joe Joyce.
Never.
That's what he said, and that's how he referred to him.
This is projection here,
not
folks.
Anymore.
This is what you call projection.
I could tell you that. Not anymore. Because I told you I always believed in him. And you know what? I got proof. I got receipts, baby. I got receipts. I bet on DraftKings on him last night. And then, not only that, Wingy did a post about this whole thing, and I told you on that post, I believed in him when nobody else did. My man, Daniel Dubois.
First of all, for all you young kids out there, your ups and downs may hit a bump in the road, right? You may fail in life. You may fail in life. And there's going to be people like Eric that are going to tell you that you're a quitter. They're going to tell you to pack it in. They're going to tell you to give up, just like he did to Daniel Dubois. And never listen to him, because look what happens when you don't give up.
That's right.
Look what happens when you don't give up.
Facts. Facts, son. I called it. Nobody listened. Eric is shameless. This was a one-sided beatdown. And let me tell you what, Beeb, when they came out, I told you, I texted you. That's the first thing I texted you. Are you watching? And what did I say? What did I say?
You look tight. You look nervous. But you say that every fight, and it never usually matters.
I said he looked tight and he looked nervous. Dubois looks a little too relaxed for me, but Joshua looks tight. He looks nervous. What happened? Very first round. Payow. He's out, son. First round, knockdown. I mean, he was so stiff in there. Did you notice that? Like when they came to the middle of the ring, Dubois started fast. He jumped on him quick. But Joshua looked so mechanical, so robotic in there. He looked so tight. Why, Beeb? He got hit with every right hand. All the ones that did damage, right hands. Why was his left hand down around his hip? He looked like OG Thomas Hearns or something like that, or Milt McCrory from the Kronk. He had his hand down, shooting jabs from his hips. Why his corner didn't tell him to start answering the phone because, you're getting hit? I have no idea. I didn't hear any of the interaction in the corner. It didn't seem like they were real concerned about it. Put your hands up. He's got his hands like this. Of course he's going to get hit with a right hand.
But hasn't this always been something that pops up every now and then in Joshua fights? We talk about how he gets lazy with his jab sometimes. He'll throw his jab out there, and then when he brings it back, he drops it down, to his chest or even down to his hip at certain times. We've said this before.
When there's distance, you can do that. But not when you're up close. Not when you're within distance. No, you can't do that.
But he's done it before. Again, after a fight like this, everyone likes to be Monday morning quarterback. But these were things that we've said about him before, with sometimes being inconsistent.
Prone to get hit with right hands. You've said that forever.
Yeah, because a lot of times, he does bring that left. He does get sometimes lackadaisical with that left hand. There's times when he throws the jab beautifully, and other times he just throws it very lackadaisically and brings it back down. There's a lot of people say he's like he reminds them of Frank Bruno. He reminds me of Vladimir Klitschko. Now, as great as Vladimir Klitschko was, these were some of the same mechanical mistakes that he made. He was prone to get hit with a lot of right hands as well at times. I mean, these are guys. This is a game of inches, and it sounds ridiculous that we're being overly critical of two guys that are going to walk into the Hall of Fame, but this is a game of inches, right? We're not comparing Joshua to a guy in the bottom 50. We're talking about at this level,
top guys.
Yeah, you can't do these things at this level. And if you looked at this fight too, and this was amazing to me, this wasn't about necessarily speed. This was about timing. And Dubois, and if you look, Ben Davidson said something very interesting, and I was actually picking up on what he said because they scouted Dubois very well. They said every time you touch him, he's punching. So in other words, when Joshua was throwing the jab, he was catching it, and before simultaneously, I should say, instantaneously, as soon as he caught and parried that jab, his jab was already out there, like boom, 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 and I thought Joshua was the more explosive, quicker guy, and I thought he would be the guy getting off first. But none of that mattered because this was timing. This was all timing. It was like Dubois knew he had this guy scouted to a T, knew exactly what he was going to do, and knew what he was going to do to counter what this guy was going to do. It was almost like this was an open book for Dubois. He got hit a few times, but his defense was pretty sharp. He was just timing, catching, and shooting. He was slipping the jab. He had Joshua's jab down to a T, almost knew that he was going to bring it down low because he came right over the top with it. As soon as he parried it, boom, came over the top with his. It was amazing. It was amazing how well Dubois had Joshua scouted and how well he executed the game plan.
Well, and somebody said in the chat, somebody just said in the chat, and he was a mess because he was backing straight out. He wasn't moving. That was the other thing I noticed. There was hardly any movement.
He was leaning back, and Usyk,
Usyk what are you doing?
That too. Usyk mentioned that too. He wasn't,
He looked awful. As bad as a prize fighter could look, that was him last night. Again, that left hand, I don't understand why nobody in that corner, and maybe they did. I can't speak for it, but let me just say this. No adjustment was made. Why that left hand was down around his waist, I'll never know. And he kept getting hit. That's, and Stephen 47 said Joshua showed a good chin. He did. He
showed a lot of courage.
He absolutely did.
I'm seeing a lot of people.
He got up and he really did. He showed a good chin. He showed a lot of courage, man. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, I don't want to see him again. And I know there's been calls for him to retire and everything like that. But after that fight last night, I mean, he looked awful. He looked, you remember how he looked in New York where he said he had a nervous breakdown in his dressing room? It's kind of what he looked like here.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like real pensive, real tight, real nervous. And yeah, it was awful, man. It was
crazy
awful.
As this may sound. I said this yesterday, and I'm saying it again today. What better time for a Wilder versus Joshua fight now?
Stop it.
Loser go home match.
Where, in the parking lot of Walmarts? I mean, really? Like, who?
I think it sells. It sells. You would watch it.
I'd watch anything.
I mean, you watch two.
I'm not a good example.
You watch two old ladies fighting over a friggin' ball of yarn in a friggin' department store. I know you'll do that, but
she earned that $50 too, by the way. She earned it. All right. Robert, what was your take on this fight?
Okay, guys.
There's a reason why. Again, you know why. Now, you guys want to know why he's gone? He's not even hitting his. He's not even hitting his cues today. He's not even hitting his cues today.
All right.
Go ahead, Robert.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Wake the fuck up.
All right. Everything you guys are saying is absolutely accurate because, I mean, I did not expect Daniel Dubois to come out and do what he did. I thought it would be a competitive fight. I thought but I thought Joshua, with the way he'd been looking recently, would have put on a better effort. But when he got hit with that punch in the first round, that was all she wrote. The fight was pretty much over after that. He never did recover from that first big right hand that he got hit with. And why Ben Davidson or somebody in the corner didn't say, hey, Anthony, pick up your hands and start defending yourself, I have no idea. Look, I'm very famous for telling people that they need to find something else to do. Well, that's the stage where Joshua is at now. I don't know how competitive he can be in the future after taking a little beating like this. I know there's talk about a rematch. I don't want to see that. Not after what we saw yesterday.
Oh,
I don't think he should fight again. Honestly, I don't think he should fight again.
You wouldn't want to see a Wilder versus Joshua fight.
That would be now. That's a train wreck fight. You could put that on the undercard of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. That would be a good card to put it on.
Jesus.
I mean, because that's the category that a Wilder Joshua fight would now fall into. They're both an absolute mess.
Hey, Robert, let me get you boxing. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. There's a comment for Robert here. Robert, will you recommend getting my news from Newsmax? Do you watch Newsmax?
Yeah, I watch Newsmax, but I also watch Fox. So, it depends on your political leanings. But I spent time a red person.
You watch CNN, Robert? Robert, you watch CNN?
No, I do not.
So he only knows what Foxtel. That's like going to the grocery store and just reading what the National Enquirer says.
I like flipping around. I don't like just listening to one. You got to get both sides, man.
I do flip around.
You got to hear both sides.
I do flip around and listen to different things. I think the quality of CNN news lately has gone downhill. They need to improve.
Okay. What about MSNBC?
That's as bad as
what about Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski? The Morning Joe. Yeah, that's just for me. That's just straight comedy. That's just straight comedy.
Right? It really is.
Yeah, that is. If you want a good laugh in the morning, turn that on. Yep.
I love watching.
Anyway, let's get to boxing.
Right, watch your mouth, Robert.
Babe, so is there? I mean, we've seen Anthony Joshua lose, and we've seen him. Is this it for him? I mean, I think he may fight again. I don't see a point to it though.
I think he really fights 2 more times, Eric.
Do you think he beats realistically? Does he challenge for the heavyweight championship? Is he a challenge for that?
Not at all.
No.
And this is something I said before. I said, watch out for Daniel Dubois because he's like 26, 27 right now. All these guys are like 34, 35. They're 30. Usyk's like 38 almost now. All these guys are on their way out. Daniel Dubois is just coming into his own. He's going to be the new guy. I said, watch out for him. He's going to be the new guy. And he just may very well be the new guy when all these guys decide to step away and go off to greener pastures here. Right?
And I tell you,
you know what? The biggest heavyweight fight in the future could be Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. I mean, think about that.
Biggest fight in heavyweight history? Did you just say?
Stop it.
No. One of the biggest fights in the future. I said.
Yeah.
In the future.
I don't know.
I didn't say history.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
But
I will say this. I will say this, man. He got Daniel Dubois was beat by Joe Joyce. A lot of people wrote him off after that. I wrote him off after that because I tell you what, his eye was like swollen shut or something, or swollen or whatever, and he decided not to continue.
He had a broken orbital bone, retinal bleeding. The eye was moving around.
I get it.
Could have gone blind, the ophthalmologist said. Could have gone blind.
The ophthalmologist told me I could have gone blind too, okay? But that's,
You're already half blind, but that's beside the point.
That's why I got glasses.
No, the one that's blind here is me, guys, because I was born with that.
Always bringing it back to you, please. Always bring it back to you, please. You and your self-indulgence. Go ahead, Eric, please continue.
So I'm like, so he lost that fight. He goes in, he loses against, I thought he looked really good against Usyk. I really did. And even though he lost that fight, he's kind of got his career back together, won the title. And now, I'll be honest, man, I got to see him fight Usyk again. I'd like to see him fight Usyk again because I believe, and I think you believe it too, that wasn't a low blow in that fight.
It wasn't a low blow.
That was a clear body shot.
Most people think that was a clean shot, unless you were a diehard Usyk fan. Then you believe that was a legit shot.
To me, he's the lineal champion. He's really the uncrowned.
Can I also say something else, Eric?
Yes.
Can I say something else about that? Everyone gets mad about how he just kind of unraveled, and I get it. He kind of caved in that fight a little bit. Yeah. He was broke. You got broken in that fight. I say that with all due respect. I'll never use the Q word. But the problem is, I didn't. Let's unpack this though. You hit the guy with the shot of the century. Then the referee stops, lets the guy rest, not for 5 minutes. He was down for like 10 minutes. That was like a 10-minute break. That's number one. Number two, he gets back up. Then the referee says, don't do that again or you will be disqualified. Right? So right then and there, you're told you can't throw that punch again. And that was a beltline shot. So now you're told if you do that again, you're going to get disqualified.
That ref was on him for no reason last night.
And the ref was on him. Like every time this guy fights, like what is it? Like he's got to fight fucking the fighter and the ref. It's always a 2-on-1 every time. And he knocked Joshua down last night. Joshua's glove hit the canvas. The ref doesn't even count.
Okay, what about the one where it looked like he stopped the fight? That's where his glove hit the game.
God,
And he goes in,
like,
he stops it. He's like waving it off.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to wave this off."
Like, what are you doing? That ref was horrible last night.
And then after round 3, Joshua gets knocked down because he had to pin him to the canvas for the ref to count, right? And then when right at the end of the round, Ben Davidson comes in, puts the stool. Joshua uses the stool to get himself up off the canvas as a prop to help him get off the canvas. It's ridiculous what was allowed to happen yesterday.
He didn't use the I noticed that too, but he didn't use the chair to get up. He did have his hands on the ropes. He didn't have his chair. I thought he was going to use the chair.
It looked like he had his hand on the stool. He didn't have his hand on the stool?
I thought so too, but it looked like he had his hands on the ropes.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look at that. It looked like he put his hand on the stool, but
yeah. And that's what I thought too. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Because he could be counted out here. You know what I mean? Like,
did you go back and watch it and you double check it?
Yeah. I looked at it because I was like, wait a minute here, man. I was like, that's illegal. He can't do that.
Oh, okay. You know? So you went back and watched it. Okay.
And I was, yeah. And
it looked like he, but in real time, it looked like he used a stool to get up, right? Okay.
It absolutely did.
So maybe like he put his glove in the back of the stool and he put his hand on the rope and the stool was in front of it. I understood. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you what, man, he just did not look good. There's nothing. And they talk about a rematch in this fight. That's crazy. You can't. That was a one-side. The only rematch, I'll tell you what, the only rematch I've ever seen like that had a different outcome was the Simon Brown and Terry Norris.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Terry Norris, Simon Brown, yeah.
That second one.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fights to watch other than that second fight was one of my favorite fights to watch, man, because the way he boxed him in that second fight was just masterful. You know, it really was. So let me ask you a couple questions about the actual product in general here, the Zone last night. I only saw the fight. I only saw the main fight. I was out for most of the day anyway. I only saw the main fight. Really wasn't interested in the undercard anyway.
The undercard was really good, though. I have to tell you, it was really good.
How many fights were on there?
Yes, it was.
How many fights were there total, Robbie? Like 6?
6 fights. 6 fights.
There were 6 fights. Yeah.
When did that pay-per-view end, Robert?
It ended about 7 p.m. Eastern time. It started 11 a.m. and
11 to 7.
Yeah.
It took you that long to go through 6 fights. Yeah. Stop it. Stop it.
And no disrespect, but I did not enjoy that concert in between the co-main and the main.
God, no.
Who was the concert?
Something Gallagher. What was the guy's name, Robert?
Liam Gallagher.
Is that the guy that smashes fruit?
You know who Liam Gallagher is?
You remember that? Yeah, the guy who smashes fruit, right?
No,
remember that old comedian who?
No. You're thinking of Gallagher, the comedian.
You're thinking of the Gallagher comedian.
Liam. You're thinking of.
What an asshole! He got us going. He got us going.
Yeah. Oh, from Oasis.
Yeah, him.
Oh, yeah. That's a big deal over there, man. That's a huge deal over there.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I just wasn't excited.
No, I was not impressed.
Robert, do you like Hulk Hogan? That was one of the questions in the chat.
Yes, I did. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan back in the 80s and 90s.
The Hulkster.
Yeah. His voice didn't sound good last night.
Yeah, he said his voice was shot, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Crazy, man.
It wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it.
Well, they
not
did
trying to be an asshole.
Oasis is trying to I guess they're getting together. I know Wingy got tickets, I guess. But yeah,
Wingy's going?
Yeah, apparently they're doing a big concert over there, like a big they're getting back together and
today is gonna be the day we're gonna give it back to you. Right now, should have somehow
realize
what you ought to do. I don't believe
that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Yeah, we could go on tour, B.
We could do it.
We could totally.
We could do it.
I'm not trying to brag on it. I think we could totally do it.
That's right.
Stop immediately. You're ruining it.
I did love that song, though.
All right, so this was my problem with the fight last night. Why? And it was my problem with the Crawford fight as well. Why did the champ come out first? I don't care about any coin flips, and there shouldn't even be any coin flips.
Yeah, I hate that.
That's so disrespectful. I mean, that's so disrespectful.
I hate
when a
that.
champion comes out first.
No, when you're the champion, you're supposed to be the last one out. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, come on, man. Show him some respect at least. You know, and I know it was a matchroom card and everything, but come on, man. And how about Eddie Hearn? Every time he goes against Frank Warren, he gets blasted.
Gets blasted. I tweeted that out yesterday.
Remember that 5-on-1? He didn't win
5v5, yeah.
He didn't win anything.
Yeah, he didn't win a fight. Yeah. That was
great. Then Kakashi beats, what's his name?
Yes, that's
Gil.
right.
Kakashi beats Gil.
Well, and he beat Warrington yesterday.
All right.
Yeah, and then he beat Warrington.
And here's another thing that I wonder what's going on here. Why did they play the the Saudi national anthem?
Yeah, I don't
They have nothing to do with anything. They had nothing to do with
I don't understand. I don't understand why they did that.
In order of Turkey. Turkey al-Sheikh.
Yeah,
Turkey
al-Sheikh. Turkey al-Sheikh and everything like that. It's like, come on.
This guy, Turkey al-Sheikh's trying to make himself be like the star now.
Yeah.
Walking around there like punching and stuff, being on camera.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Sit down, please.
Yeah. So Anthony Joshua, man, I think that's it for him. And for Daniel Dubois, my only hope for Daniel Dubois, I don't think it's going to happen, but my hope for him is he gets a shot. Because I tell you what, I hope he gets a shot at Usyk again. If Usyk wins, but I'll tell you the other thing. Well, that's where I'm going too. If Tyson Fury wins, right? That's a huge fight, right?
Still a big fight, yeah.
That's still a big fight, even though it's not Joshua. That's still a huge fight over there, right?
Fight, yeah. It is.
Right. It's huge. It's huge.
That's right.
But my question would be, though, guys, both Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois, Frank Warren guys, would Frank put the two of them in the ring together?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's a no-lose situation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Danny Drew, he says Anthony Joshua should have taken off his shoes and placed them in the center of the ring and bowed. Couldn't agree with you more. Should have been his gloves, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Wrestlers do their shoes like amateur wrestlers do their shoes.
Josh Warrington did that. He took his gloves off and he put them in the middle of the ring because he retired.
Usually your gloves, yeah. Wrestlers, it's their shoes, but yeah.
Did you know that so Josh Warrington retired after Kakashi beat him yesterday? It was kind of
you should have.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool move.
Should have.
Yep. No, that's the right. That's the right thing to do.
He lost to that dude way back early in his career too. Who was that one guy he lost to?
Kid Galahad. That was
Kid Galahad.
Smashed him.
I thought Kid Galahad won that. I had it like 8-4 for Kid Galahad.
Easy fight.
I thought Galahad won that fight.
MAW, thank you so much. He said, hello, Beebs. Eric in the chat. Congratulations to Triple D. Triple D versus Usyk / Fury rematch winner for Undisputed. Prefer AJ rematch clause? Likely. Preferred, but AJ rematch clause likely, in my opinion.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I hope not.
Just do the Wilder fight and have a loser go home match, man. That's it.
I think they're one of them. I can't imagine Wilder's thinking about fighting again. He doesn't.
Well,
I wouldn't think.
What's his name? What's his name? Said he's not retiring there. What's his trainer's name again, Robbie? Malik Scott. Yeah. Malik Scott said he's not retiring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but my God, he should not.
Take a pound. I don't know what to tell you, man.
No.
All right, what's going on with these political questions, please?
Hey, boxing's asking it. I'm asking it. Robbie, who do you think won the debate, Trump or Harris?
Harris won the debate.
Oh, Harris won the debate hands down.
I mean, that was
she won the debate.
Easy. Yeah, there we go.
He took debate. He took debate just like Robbie takes debate every week with me.
Steven says AJ's ego is going to get him back in with Dubois. Man, I hope not. Let me tell you what, that they got to correct that left hand, man. They got to correct it.
Why every time someone fights AJ, they have to beat him twice, but AJ only has to win once? I mean,
he's the money man.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Constant. No,
way.
Canelo doesn't always have rematch clauses.
He usually does.
I don't know. He didn't rematch Bivol.
He wanted to.
He wants to still. He still wants to.
Yeah, I want
to go on a date with Halle Berry tomorrow, but it ain't gonna happen.
Really? That's who you would pick?
That's right.
I still like Halle Berry, man. She looks beautiful right now.
That's who you would pick? You was
Yeah,
into
I like
that
Halle
busted
Berry.
Asian porn star too, man. She's
Asia
90
Carrera?
now.
Yeah, but Halle
she's
Berry,
all,
something
like,
about
busted now.
something about Halle Berry I just like. I don't know what it is.
What's the matter with you?
She's like the complete package.
Tony, thank you so much. I'm from Ohio. My pets are safe. That is correct. My pets are safe. Nobody has eaten my dogs yet.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
that's great stuff. Yeah.
Eric's got a goose cooking in the oven while we speak.
I know, right?
Don't listen to him. He's out there chopping the geese's heads off. Trying to blame the Haitians.
That's right. Got to blame somebody else, you know. ESPN, Jaime Munguia versus Eric Bazinian. Munguia wins by a 10th round TKO over Bazinian. I thought Munguia looked pretty good here, man. I thought it was a good comeback fight for him, and I thought he looked pretty good. Robert,
right.
What did you think of this fight?
Yep.
All right.
I like the way Jaime Munguia looked. I thought Brazilian put on a good show, and I'm looking forward to seeing Munguia fight in Billy next.
You think he's going to fight him Billy next?
Yep, that's what I would do because they're both put top rank now. That's an in-house fight.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Remember, Oscar dumped it.
I'd still like to see him on Edgar Berlanga. I'd still like to see him fight Edgar Berlanga. I really would. I think that's a good fight. I think that's a fun fight. I like that fight. Pete, what are your thoughts here?
I always wanted to see that Munguia versus Berlanga fight. I always was calling for that fight. I thought that would be a great fight. And even now, seeing how both of them went the distance with Canelo, but Munguia did much better versus Canelo, I thought. But either way,
I thought so too.
Either way, there was a couple bright spots for Berlanga. His jab looked pretty good. He showed some heart, some durability. The thing is he just couldn't get off. Just couldn't get off against a sharpshooter like Canelo. So
yeah, no, I agree. And Canelo's still good. And when we say
Canelo,
we talk about like he's definitely on the dark side of his career. He's definitely slipped a few gears. That being said, he was so far and above everybody else there.
Yeah, he just fights differently now. Like I was trying to explain a couple of weeks ago, he just fights at a more methodical, slower pace. He was never a high volume guy, but he's actually tampered down the volume even less, and he's become more of a quality versus quantity type guy. You know, he'll come forward, but he'll come forward, he'll stop, and he'll try to pot shot you. When he gets up in the ropes, he's not going deep in the pocket anymore. Again, when these guys get older, and they're not like what they once were, like the Hopkins, Floyd, Pernell Whitaker. You can go down the list of guys who as they've gotten older, guys who are kind of skilled and crafty and counterpuncher type boxers. They become a little more economical, and they're not as fighting at as fast as a pace, and they just try to, add longevity to their career. They know they're winding down, so they're not pushing the envelope as much as they did earlier in their career. So Canelo can still fight this way and beat guys like 10 rounds to 2 or 11 rounds to 1, whatever. So that's right, Jerry. He will leave you alone.
I'll tell you what. It says here, Jerry says Canelo will leave you alone if you leave him alone. That is what you said. It's laughable. They've even talked about that. They even talked about that in the Munguia fight.
They even said that.
About that. Yeah.
If he's throwing one punch at a time, right, and he's not putting on a ton of pressure, if you don't force the pace on Canelo, he will not push the pace on you. And that's exactly what happened. Once again, you're the idiot that thought he was going to walk through Berlanga and knock him out. And he, once again, true to form, he threw 420 punches when the super middleweight average is 630. So Daniel Dubois threw more punches around last night than Canelo did. So what does that tell you? He is not fighting at a fast pace, and he will not fight a fast pace unless he's forced to. So yes, I was right, and you, as per usual, were dead wrong because you have the IQ of a grape.
That wasn't necessary. Come on.
So yeah, he did leave Berlanga alone because he was throwing one punch at a time, and when he had Munguia and he had Berlanga up against the ropes, he didn't go after him. He stopped and he was pot shotting. So yeah, he did leave him alone. That's why he didn't knock him out. You're not gonna. He's throwing one punch at a time. He's not putting his shots together and going for like a knockout like he did before early in his career. That's not the same Canelo that you saw. Go back and watch the Canelo that fought Triple G the second time. How he went in his chest and he was putting shots together. That's in that fight. He threw like 600 punches. And he was throwing combinations. He wasn't throwing one punch at a time like he's doing now. If you can't see a difference in the guy's style, then you're just not that smart.
He's casual, son. What do you want him to do? All right, let's talk about the undercard here on ESPN because I was really impressed. Richard Torres Jr. versus Joey Dawejko. Torres wins by DQ. Dawejko just kept losing his mouthpiece, man. Beeb, you've had a fitted mouthpiece, no? Or have you always had the boiling bites? I've had a fitted mouthpiece. You've had a fitted mouthpiece. You have to literally pry that thing out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
You do.
You have to literally pry it out of your mouth. All right, if it's fitted.
That's right.
How you kept dropping that mouthpiece, I'll never know.
That's correct. It's crazy.
You never know. What were your thoughts on Richard Torres, Robert?
I thought Richard Torres looked good, and I hope they can find him somebody better to fight. I mean, Top Rank brought Dawejko in to hopefully give Torres some rounds, and it didn't turn out that way. So hopefully, I came up with a ridiculous idea, and I admitted in advance. But what about putting Torres against Jared Anderson? That would be a good comeback fight for Anderson, and we could see what Anderson's got left.
I don't know, man. That's a tough fight. Well, you know, how many fights does Torres have? I guess they have about the same.
So, yeah, Torres has 12 now, and Anderson's got
16,
15, somewhere around there.
He might still be out of range. He might still be a little bit out of range for Anderson. I would like to see him move Torres. I don't need to move him super, super slow, but I need them to move him slow because I think he's got something. I really do. I think he's a good fighter, and I think he can.
Okay, Eric. How about F.A. Jogba? F.A. Jogba. What about him?
I don't hate that fight, but again, he's got 13 fights. 10 or what was it? 10 fights or 11? He's got just a low number of fights.
I think it's 12.
Rather than put him in against some killers, I like. Let's bring him along. Let's give him a couple more fights.
Yeah, he needs a few more fights.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit more seasoning than we just like push him in there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let me tell you who the fighter of the night was. I thought Emiliano Vargas. He fought Larry Friars. Yeah. Vargas wins by 5th round TKO. Vargas, I'm telling you right now, he's looking more and more like the real deal, man. I was impressed with him. For me, he was like the fighter of the night on that card. He really was. I thought he put the shots together. I thought defensively he looked responsible, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do when that's go in there. And he's a good boxer. He's not just a puncher. He's not just looking for one big shot. He's a boxer. He puts it together, man. Beeb, Emiliano Vargas, is he for real?
I think he's got potential. Definitely got potential. You know, he definitely has the pedigree, right? Coming from that background. And his dad, you know, climbed the ladder quick. I think he was the youngest junior middleweight champ ever. How old was he when he was a champ? I think he was
fairly young.
Yeah, he was fairly young. I can't remember the exact age, but he was the youngest junior middleweight champ ever.
Maybe 21, 22, something like that.
I think he was like 20 or 21 when he became a world champion. So he was very young.
First class, he still looked very good. I mean, even if that was the case, he still looked very good. You know, I'm just saying. He said he was fighting a cripple. What is that? What's the matter with you? But yeah, man, I'll tell you what, he does. He looks like the real deal to me. He really does. And you know how you know what's crazy about it is that you never see that. Like you always see like the Suns, Julio Jr., and you never see him that good. And this guy is that good. I mean, this guy really is that good. Are you trying to get him killed? Richard Torres should fight Jalal. No, he shouldn't. He should not fight him. Not right now. Not in a year. He should stay away from Jalal for right now. But speaking of Jalal, where's he at? He goes in there. He's a pro. He wins another gold medal, which was just a waste, to be honest with you. where's he been?
I have no idea.
No idea either. He fights for Top Rank.
Wasn't he in the Olympics? Didn't he win the gold? He was in the Olympics and he won the gold.
He
was tied up doing that.
But that's kind of my point, though. He shouldn't have been. I mean, here's a guy. He's got pro fights. He's 11. I mean, he won the gold easily the first time. He won the gold easily the second time. He was favored. In fact, if you go look at like the odds, he was the only one like favorite. Everybody else was like it's almost like a golf tournament. Like you don't know who's going to win. So you just, everybody is plus odds. He was minus odds. He was favored by like a big margin. It was like, over 1,500. It was something stupid. Like, because nobody was going to beat that guy. That's what I don't get, man. So, all right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. Not a whole lot, but let's see what we got. The 27th, Robert from New York on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Yeah. Sandy Ryan versus Michaela Mayer. Yeah. 10 rounds for Ryan's WBO women's welterweight. Come on. That's a headline, Beeb. Beeb, that is a headline fight.
I know.
Headline
think
fight.
About it. We got October 12th. We got Fury Usyk too. So
that's like 6 years away. All
October
right.
12th, a couple weeks away.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Xander Zayas on the undercard, co-main versus Damian Sosa and Bruce Shushu Carrington. Have you guys seen Bruce Carrington?
Yeah, he's good.
He's amazing. He's worth tuning in for. Yeah. And the good part is you can tune out before the main event. On September 27th in Fayetteville, Georgia, there's no TV on this. It's another chick fight. Alicia Baumgartner versus Delphine Pearson for Baumgartner's WBC junior lightweight title. Who cares? September 28th. What is that? September 27th is Friday, right, Robert?
Friday, yep. Friday.
It's like the week of the chick next week. September 28th, Sheffield, England, on DAZN. Rhiannon Dixon versus Terry Harper for Dixon's WBO lightweight title. Nobody cares. The co-main, Peter McGrail versus Brad Foster. Truly, nobody cares. You guys pay for this. You guys realize that, right? You guys pay for this?
I don't pay for it.
Blake Carrington, Bruce Carrington, Shushu. And on Fight TV on September 28th, two guys I can't even pronounce. Norer Michaeljan versus Ryan Rozicki. 12 rounds for Michaeljan's WBC cruiserweight title. That's on Fight TV. And Beeb, October 5, Nick Ball versus Ronnie Rios. That's coming up.
Yeah, that's okay. But you're not paying for it, though. Is it on ESPN?
Probably, yeah. There's no TV on it yet, but probably.
I think it's probably on.
And then the big one on October 12th, Arthur Beterbiev versus Bivol. And that's a Saudi card.
And the main event, the main event's going to be free. The main event's going to be free.
Is that right?
Yeah. Isn't it great watching fights at 6 o'clock at night instead of having to watch them at 12 at night?
Love it.
I don't care, man.
Yeah. The only thing better than that is the Tuesday night fights in Japan.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
If people want to say boxing's dead in America, I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I don't care. I'll watch the UK fights. I have no problem.
Think about that card yesterday.
I love the UK fights.
If it started at 9 o'clock, that's 7 hours. That was an 8-hour card because it went from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
11 to 7. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see at the end of that whole card? Did you guys see at the end of this whole card? Right? They give away whatever kind of trip they're giving away.
Yeah.
And this like the arena had just emptied out. Like nobody was there. Like if you won, you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Beeb, what do you think of Hamza Shiraz?
Oh, incredible. Fucking incredible. This guy's still young. He's going to be a champ at 160. Yeah, he's going to be a champ at 160 and 168. He's got 6'3". This guy's got a frame. He's young.
Yeah.
Still getting better. Beautiful right hand. Sharp. This guy's tall and long, but he can shorten up shots on the inside. He's a good body puncher. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Pursoon fights like Captain Caveman. There you go.
Yeah, Pursoon's kind of rough around the edges. She is.
Who's going to win the fight? The Katie Taylor fight, Beeb, on the Tyson undercard.
Oh, Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor.
Yeah,
she's winning that fight, right?
Because
live bodies. That's why she's going to win.
Well, here's the thing. Serrano's moving up to 140, and again, Serrano's getting hit an awful lot. Like Serrano is a very aggressive fighter, but she opens up wide, and she's starting to get hit by these girls who aren't on even on her level. She's getting tagged a lot, and she's older than Katie. She's getting up there in age. She got miles on her. I would not be surprised. This is crazy because Katie's not a huge puncher. I would not be surprised if Katie possibly gets a stoppage in this fight because she could bang her up. Maybe not knock her out for a 10 count, but she could bang her up bad and swell up her eyes and get a stoppage. I'm just telling you, because Katie's fighting good.
Yeah.
She's fighting good right now.
There you go. All right, let's talk about the news and rumors here. Not a whole lot on the news and rumor front, but here we got Jaron Ennis and Bam Rodriguez on the same card. November 9th in Philadelphia. Jaron Ennis will face Karen Chakadzian in a rematch where Boots won this by. So I don't understand. He won by unanimous decision. It was a wide unanimous decision. Why are they fighting again, Robert?
Yes, it was. Well, you can blame the IBF for this. They ordered that because they claimed that whatever his name is the mandatory challenger, and Boots didn't want to give up his title.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you know what I mean? I don't get it.
Yeah, no, we don't need to see this. We don't need to see this rematch either because it was a very wide decision the first time around. They just fought a year ago.
Yeah, and so again, a wide unanimous decision. So let's do this. Let's put it on again. All right. It's ridiculous. Bam Rodriguez will be facing Pedro Guevara. So, you know, 2 showcase fights, I believe. However, that's still, I mean, again, they're doing a pretty good job. Matchroom doing a pretty good job with both of those guys. So there you go. I think that's pretty good. What was the deal? Did you see? Apparently, Devin Haney was ripping on, was it Eddie Hearn for not getting him tickets for the fights last night? Did you see this? And Eddie Hearn
shows up. He shows up at 6 a.m. and asks for tickets.
Yeah, he called him. I guess I don't know if he showed up or asked for him or called him at 6 a.m. And it's like he's got to fight that day. Like he's got a whole event that he's got to plan. He's not thinking about you. I don't understand. Like
you give, you know, when these fighters are fighting on your cards, they all have most of them have in their contract that they're allotted a certain amount of tickets that they can give to their friends and family.
Yeah.
So those are the people you take care of first. You're not gonna this guy. And here's the thing: all you had to do was go to Turkey Al Sheikh because Turkey Al Sheikh got him the tickets. So why'd you go to Eddie when you could just go to Turkey Al Sheikh?
Right. Well, Okay, so who is Haney with now? Who's this promoter?
Free agent.
He's a free agent, right? That's what I thought.
Free agent still. Yeah.
That's what I thought. And nobody's in a hurry to pick this guy up. Has anybody else noticed that?
No, because just coming off a loss.
He's coming off a loss, right? But he's acting like still acting like he's a star.
A loss to me.
That is a loss. And even though his record says undefeated, look, man, we seen it. You can't tell me what we didn't see. You know? So I don't know. Omar Rodriguez says Haney's getting knocked out again by the end of 2025. It depends on who he fight. Who's he fighting next? Robert, who's he fighting next?
Well, I don't know who he's fighting next because he was supposed to have a mandatory challenge with Santo Martin, but no promoter wanted to pick up the fight. So I don't know who he's going to fight next.
Beeb, who's he got next?
Who did you mention now?
Devin Haney. Who's Devin Haney got next?
He doesn't have anybody next. He didn't. They were saying he could fight Liam Paro, but I guess that fight's not happening. So I don't know. I don't know who he's fighting next. I really don't. And I don't even know if he's going to stay at 140. You see him lately? He looks like he's about 180 right now. It looks huge.
Yeah, he's walking around as a big guy. Yeah.
He's good.
He should fight Raleigh. They're talking about Tank fighting Raleigh again. I don't want to see that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
come on.
No.
God,
I
help
don't
us.
want to see that.
No, they're talking about Tank fighting Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is supposed to come up from 130
now
to fight Tank.
that I've heard.
That's
Again, what
That
the fuck? I mean, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care at this point. Guys like Tank and certain fighters that are just doing their own thing. I just
fight somebody. I
just ignore them because I'm gonna follow the guys like Bivol and Betterbeeve and Fury and Usyk. I'm gonna look at the fights that we are getting. I'm gonna stop focusing on these guys that I know aren't gonna step up. Why am I wasting my energy even arguing and complaining and thinking about them? It's not worth it.
That's the thing. It's really not.
What's he now? 29, and he's been a pro for how many years now? The blueprint. The blueprint is out on him. We already know what he's going to do,
and he's
know what he's going to do.
He's got a big win. He's got a big win over Garcia.
Yeah.
But I want to see him fight. And the last fight, Frank Martin was a good opponent, but we all knew he wasn't going to beat him.
Now, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt with the Lomachenko situation. I do believe they were trying to make that fight, but I guess Lomachenko wanted some time away, whatever.
Lomachenko didn't want the fight. He wanted to wait or whatever it was.
So hopefully at some point we still get that fight. Who knows?
Yeah. Steven said he wants to see Haney versus Teofimo. I think that's a great fight.
Yeah, I love that.
I'd love to see that fight.
It's a good match.
But I don't know. Can he get down to 140 though?
That's what I'm saying. He looks big now. Why don't they just fight Ryan Garcia at 147 in a rematch? That's the best. Yeah. That's probably the biggest money fight from out there because a lot of people want to see that, and then he's kind of mad at Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn said that, I don't believe that Ryan Garcia was taking Ostarine. He was cycling it. I think he was taking it the week of the fight so he could lose weight. And I'm like, again, what are you going to take something for 1 week thinking it's going to do something for you? Even that is ridiculous. But he got mad because Eddie said that that Ryan wasn't taking the Ostarine to try to get an advantage. He was using it to try to make weight, whatever. So
that's getting an advantage, right?
Yeah.
If you can't lose it yourself, that's getting an advantage.
But again, are you going to take something for a week? Are you going to take something for a week?
Like I said, for everything we read, everything you and I read on this,
contamination. Yeah,
it does look like contamination.
Yeah,
but you know what? That's your business because ultimately you're responsible for what you put in your body. That's it. And he's a pro fighter. He should know, and he should have also given a sample to whoever. Only take legit supplements. That's it. And I get it, but he still lost the fight. He still got knocked out. It's what I mean. We seen it. There's nothing, we saw it. And you can't unsee it. The only way to unsee it is to do a rematch, which I don't think he's going to do. I think he'll claim he wants to do it. But what about Tank and Devin Haney? Why don't those two fight? Why don't I don't see him calling Tank out. He's not calling anybody out. He's worried about promoters. He's ripping on Eddie Hearn because he says Eddie Hearn, tries to, talks about him all the time. They won't give him tickets. And he's crying about that. Like, dude, I think he's in a bad place. He definitely needs to fight again, and he definitely needs a get back win. He's got a lot. He's climbing, even though he's on the top of the mountain, he's still climbing an uphill battle here. It really is. So we'll see what happens.
I agree. I agree.
See what happens, man. All right. That's pretty much what I got. Show 500. B, did you ever think we'd be here for show 500? My God, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. I was talking to D-Star because D-Star, I just did 200 shows with him on the round table.
Uh-huh.
And he said, how long you guys been doing this? I said, since 2016. We're in April of next year, we'll be doing this 9 years strong.
Wow.
9 years strong. And I tell people, this is the longest I've ever been on a show with somebody is this. Because when I was at Rope-A-Dope Radio, I was there for 3 years. When I was with the Boxer Voice, I was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Robbie, I would never be here, man. So I always have to give him that credit, man.
We got to
Robbie,
give him the props.
I want to tell you, Robbie, I'm happy that you're my friend, man. I never told you that before, but I'm glad that we're friends. And I'm glad, obviously, Eric knows that I'm glad we're friends. But I'm just very grateful to have known you for so many years, Robbie. I think you've been a good, loyal friend to me.
Thank you.
And Robert,
I have to tell you that. I know I give you a lot of stick.
Yeah.
I know I give you a lot of stick, that's because I have a personality disorder. But regardless of that, I think you're a great person.
Disorder.
Yeah.
And Robert, man, he's the guy I started this whole thing with, man. Very first episode, right. He's been here from day one-ish.
Yep.
Day one, man. I was like, let me talk to him and see if he'll come on, man. So, yeah. So he's been with me for day one. Very first show. You remember our very first show, Robert? What a train wreck that was.
Oh, yes.
It's funny.
Yes, I do.
If we were to go back and listen to it now, the difference would be just amazing, I think. You know?
Oh, yeah. It was night and day.
Yeah. Somebody asked no phone lines. Yeah, no phone lines today because Blog Talk, what? It sucks. So,
yeah. You know, I wish we could come up with something else besides Blog Talk. I really don't understand what their problem is.
The thing is, like, I've tried like other ones, you know, we've looked at other ones and it just wasn't, you know, they don't do the same thing. However,
no,
this isn't really working either. So yeah, it's like we're gonna have to look into some real solutions here because I like having the callers and everything like that. Beeb hates the callers, but I love the callers. You know, I'm a caller guy. You know, I was like, yes,
the callers make my day. And I'll tell you why. Because I love educating some of these callers that call in that don't have a clue.
You like Jerry? You don't mean like Jerry?
Jerry's going to call in every week.
No, here's the problem with Jerry. Normally, I charge it. Like I have a master's degree in boxing science.
Sure.
And normally,
I have a real master's degree too, but I'm just saying.
You do, but mine's in boxing. Yours is in other things.
Mine's in IT.
Yours is in IT. Mine's in boxing.
How embarrassing is it? Just before you go on, how embarrassing is it that I have a master's degree in IT? Okay. And I can't get Blog Talk working. How embarrassing is that?
You're used to working with first-class equipment. Blog Talk isn't first-class equipment. So I give Jerry free courses in boxing science that I would normally charge for. He's getting it for free, and he doesn't appreciate it. It's a sin. That's why he keeps coming back every week.
That's why he keeps coming back.
Because he's getting free knowledge.
Listen, man. I don't care if you love us or you hate us. As long as you listen to us, it's all good. Comes back
every week, calls in, and the only weeks he doesn't call in is when he's wrong about his picks. Then he skips a couple weeks.
Yeah, what happened? What happened with that? He was supposed to call in.
I told him Canelo was not going to knock him out. I told him he wasn't going to throw more than 40 punches around, and I was right.
He was dead wrong.
This is not the same Canelo that fought Golovkin. It's not the same Canelo that fought Lara. It's not the same Canelo that fought Kirkland. It's just a different guy. Sorry.
Would he be up for a pie bet? I wonder would he be up for a pie bet? Maybe you guys can settle this. Jerry, let me ask you this. Would you be man enough to do a pie bet? That would mean showing your face on camera. I get it. I know.
He won't do it. He's a coward.
He's not. I mean, this is all right here.
If you look like him, you won't show your face on camera either. If you look like him.
I mean, look at us, Beeb. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, we're handsome fellas.
That's right.
Are you kidding me? Me and Beeb could go out a night in Boston and just clean up. You know what I mean? Clean up with the ladies. Ladies love.
You picked Canelo by knockout. You picked Canelo by knockout. You were so adamant that he was going to stop Berlanga.
I love that he's still on. That's his only argument.
And I told you he wouldn't because he's not the type of fighter that you say he is, because he doesn't knock guys out anymore, because he's not going in for the kill. How many times did he have Berlanga on the ropes, Eric? And he just stood there and started throwing one punch at a time.
He's getting grumpy now. Jerry says, FA pie bet. How about I just beat your...
Oh, see, when you go ad hominem like that, you know you're losing.
You know he's losing now, boy. You know he's losing now.
I got 3.
How old is Jerry? How old is Jerry?
He's 55 like me. I got
He's 55.
Yeah, he looks like he's
He
80.
Sounds like 70.
Yeah,
he sounds like he's in his 70s.
He sounds like he's 70, but he looks like he's 80. I did a background check on him.
Oh, so really? Yeah, it probably does.
I have a security clearance.
Joe's gonna get cream pie on camera.
Here's the thing: if you bet Canelo by decision, like I did, you got 3-1 odds. If you bet him by knockout, like this idiot would have done, you would give up
money. B.
You would give up odds. So if you pick somebody by knockout and I pick somebody by decision, you're wrong and I'm right. That's it.
Jerry doesn't want to go on camera. And you know what, Jerry? Listen, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm the king of Baltimore. And you know what? You're one of my constituents. And you know what? If you don't want to go on camera, if you're not man enough to go on camera, I agree. It's okay. Listen, nobody thinks you're us. Nobody expects you to be us. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely. Reese Mack said Beeb is stalking people in the chat.
I got a security clearance, man. I'm like the equalizer. I'm like Denzel Washington, man.
The equalizer.
I make phone calls and I can pull people's files. I'm just telling you what I can do. I mean,
he gets it done. That's Beeb.
The guy threatens me. I have to know his background so I can defend myself. The guy's threatened me on several occasions. You think I'm not going to do a background check on him?
Several occasions. Robert, thank you so much for being here this week. We appreciate it, man. Show number 500. You know I wouldn't have the show without you, man. Wouldn't have number 500 without you. You know that. Guys, that'll do it.
We didn't have any callers.
I wish we had the interruption counter on because he did it.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
But you know, in his defense, you know what the problem is? We're on camera. We can see each other's lips move. He can't. So we'll give him a little cut him a little slack for that.
I don't cut him any slack for that, baby.
That's why the producers got rid of him. But that's beside the point.
You're such a dick.
Robbie, I love you, man.
That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on Twitter at Ringside73. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for being a part of show 500 and all of our other shows too, man. I can't tell you how much it means to us to come out here every week and for you to listen to us, that you guys actually tune in to listen to what we got to say, you know? So, yeah, I can't tell you thank you enough, man. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you.